Hey everyone, what's up? So, we all know, there's going to be a lot of fans that are going to say, whoa, to Terrence Crawford. And I mean, they're justified. We all saw how Errol Spence never had to face any of his mandatories, and he got to hold that belt hostage for as long as he did. You understand? Yeah. But the person, what people need to understand, the person that this is really going to eventually hurt the most is Jerron in his boots himself. He has chosen the easy route. I know he's not signed to PBC, but you're still associated with the same people who brought up guys from the PBC, such as Errol Spence, such as Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? You're guilty by association. You even pulled the same crap that we've seen before from PBC fighters when you were given an opportunity to face Terrence Crawford and actually earn a belt. You understand, you and your daddy contradicted each other. One of you telling one story, the other saying another story. You know what I'm saying? You had the opportunity to really not go the easy route, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to play smear campaign. You wanted to play politics. You guys said that you're loyal to Al Heyman and Showtime. You know, Sean Porter's daddy said the same crap when they were trying to get Sean Porter back in the day before they actually fought. You understand? He said we're loyal to Al. Spence said you're on the wrong side of the street. You understand? Essentially telling you the same thing. He needs to come over here and blah, blah, blah. So you hid behind politics, just like Errol Spence and all those other guys. And for a minute, again, the easy route, all it does is stunts a fighter's growth. Jerron in his boots has God-gifted talent, guys. He does. He does. But to the people who actually have an eye for boxing, you can see his weaknesses, and it's been the same weaknesses he had ever since an amateur. You could see these weaknesses in the George Sosa fight. You understand? I forgot old boy's name, the dude that Mickey Garcia beat. He was a kickboxer. You know, the criticism that a lot of these PBC Errol Spence type little fad follower fanboys said about Terrence Crawford, they actually apply more to Jerron in his boots, to be quite honest with you guys. You guys used to say that Terrence Crawford gets hit too much, although he was a plus-minus leader in the entire sport. Jerron in his boots actually does get hit too much. And he's not a plus-minus leader in the sport. You know what I'm saying? In his last fight, again, you guys are going to call me haters when I literally could show you this crap with film like I've always done. I don't like to kick it on this boxing, guys. I really don't. And I don't care about popularity contests either. I know I always come up on top eventually, although I'll have to wait years till when I'm finally proven right. You understand? Because I don't follow the little fad like a lot of you in the sport of boxing today. But yeah, he got buzzed and hurt a couple times in his last fight. Again, you guys are going to say I'm hating. That was a dominant victory and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, he's not as advertised. And if he continues down this path where you want to play politics, you understand, you want them to give you belts instead of earning them. They're going to pad your record even more because your record is padded. You understand? And it's just going to end to the same conclusion, just like the Wilders, just like the Errol Spences, and just like the rest. When you fight and be a real one, people are going to wonder, like, what were we sitting here, fad following this whole time? This doesn't make sense. Well, we'll just come up with some excuses. Jerron wasn't the same that night. It'll be the same process over and over again. Just a broken record. You understand? He's naturally gifted, guys. He is. He's got skills. He's more skilled than an Errol Spence. But another thing, too, while you're pulling this type of maneuver is Jerron in his boots isn't a seller. And you really don't have anybody to help sell him. You understand? You're going to try to, once again, do your same formula of have this guy be padded up with PR. You understand? The boxing writers and everybody else can tell you he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're going to try to sell him that way. But you don't have an opponent that can really propel Drawn in his boots. You understand? You really don't. Who are you going to have him fight? Ugas? You know what I'm saying? Who are you going to have him fight? Granados? Is Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, or Sean Porter? Sean Porter's going to come out of retirement and try to, you know, help this guy's career to try to sell his name? That's another problem when you're trying to, once again, fake it till you make it with a fighter. In this case, you do have a talented fighter. He's more talented than guys like Keith Thurman. He's more talented than guys like Sean Porter. He's more talented than guys like a Danny Garcia and Errol Spence's of the world. But he does have weaknesses and defects, guys. He reminds me of a Roy Jones. Again, what this fan base has typically tried to claim is the problems with Terrence Crawford. They actually applied to Drawn in his boots more. Now, Roy Jones he had a high boxing IQ. He had a great boxing brain. It's nothing like how these casuals today try to explain Roy Jones. But Roy Jones did get more addicted to the entertainment aspect of boxing. And we see guys like Lomachenko do this too. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko is considered a very great talent, you understand? But he did fall into that I want to showboat and, you know what I'm saying, start believing his own hype. You know what I'm saying? When they're putting you up against guys like Guillermo Rigondeaux, like a 42-year-old man who's way smaller than you, Mariaga, a guy coming off a loss and moving up a weight class, you understand? And you're sitting here watching Lomachenko showboat, you know what I'm saying? But then you're over here ducking guys like Devin Haney, and then you later fight Devin Haney and lose to him. You know, you got to ask yourself, what's going on? Because they told us this is the greatest guy since sliced bread. They're going to do the same thing with Drawn in his boots, guys. But you still have those weaknesses that are glaring to those who have eyes to see and actually know what they're looking at. He's not really progressed since his amateur days. He hasn't. And he's over here fighting guys that are on house arrest and all this other crap. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to look good against those guys. But you've already had blips like George Sosa, who's already exposed. You don't have that great of a chin. You know what I'm saying? It looks good today when you turn your head to the side like you're dodging punches when they're still hitting you. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear you guys saying that Drawn in his boots gets hit too much like you guys try to say about Terrence Crawford. You know, and I could pull this stuff up on film if I really want to. I don't have to lie, again, about your guy, your new ship that you just jumped onto when you jumped off your last ship, Errol Spence. Now you guys got to go all in for Drawn in his boots, which is laughable to me. It shows what type of rat type traits that you guys have. But you guys were jumping ship. I mean, we could see it a long time ago, and we've called it out on this channel when we spoke about it. Now they're trying to craft the Drawn in his boots hype train, and again, they're going to use the same tactics. But again, you don't have the Sean Porters, you don't really have the Keith Thurmans at this point. You know, are you going to have him fight Benavidez, who's already fighting Jamal Charlo right now? They'll take a guy from like another company and they'll latch onto it. Even Gamboa was the co-main event for Errol Spence's fight against Ugas, guys. That should really explain to you how desperate and how crazy these people are over at PBC and how they don't really know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? If you fight guys like Stanionis, guys that aren't going to lay down, you know, guys who actually want to go in there and win, a guy who probably doesn't want to give in to PBC's typical silent agreements like Malik Scott type fights where you'll even see guys take a dive, you know, and not even be able to sell it. They get exposed. But those type of guys, they're going to further expose you. Think of it as like the equivalent of Sean Porter versus Errol Spence. All that fight did was prove to you that Errol Spence ain't what you guys are trying to advertise him as. You had that montage heading into that fight before the ring walk. How they were talking about how Errol Spence was the next Floyd Mayweather. They literally did that, guys. If I can find that, maybe I'll post it in this video. But that's how far they went. They were trying to force a passing of the torch from Floyd Mayweather to Errol Spence. And it's all PR, and it's all just suggestive selling. even though it doesn't equate to profit. And it's not going to equate to profit here with Jaron in his boots, especially when you don't have opponents to build him up. You know what I'm saying? I could show you emails from Tim Smith that I had with him years ago when they were trying to push Jaron in his boots on the Terrence Crawford other than Errol Spence. We're talking years ago, guys. Another thing I need you guys to understand, it's no surprise or shock to me that all this stuff started happening to Terrence Crawford, you know, just out of nowhere. I know that the PBC, they offer a lot of these YouTubers money to push their narratives that they want pushed. And I could show you undeniable proof of that. You understand? I'm not a guy who shows and tells, but I'm telling you right now, guys, I have absolute proof that I'll just say that maybe I was offered money. I didn't take it, guys. You know what I'm saying? But it's always coordinated with these guys. It always comes at just, you know, some oddball time, and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon, on the smear campaign against Terrence Crawford. You know, and then here we are, we're going to elevate, you know, we're going to take Terrence Crawford's belt and then give it to a guy who really hasn't done nothing in his career other than beat no-hopers. You know, what's his name? Karen already showed you other aspects that he's needs to work on as well. I mean, it looks flashy, it looks great, but again, when he does come across a real one, you know what I'm saying? By that time, are you going to be like a Keith Thurman, a Danny Garcia, a Errol Spence? You're going to be checked out because you already were given the silk sheets before you even really given a belt and solid competition, you know? And what's going to happen? You know, even a Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz, that's just a guy that didn't lay down. I guess didn't do what the silent agreement he was instructed to do did. You know what I'm saying? But all these fighters, it's the same broken record, and it's going to continue with Jaron in his boots. And in this case, they somewhat managed to do it with Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank Davis ain't fought nobody either, guys. I hate to break it to you. You know, he doesn't sell what they tell you he sells. He doesn't. He really doesn't. It's just PR. Again, if he was doing what they claim, why are they being removed from Showtime, huh? Why are they over here trying to look for a new home? If you got all these big stars, Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis. But the PR game and the fake it till you make it continues. Pay to win, PBC's ways. Again, I understand Boots isn't a PBC fighter, but he pretty much is, guys. Just like how Al Heyman ain't a promoter, but he pretty much is. He's the guy that's in control. And this smells of Al Heyman. This is the female dog tactics of Al Heyman and how they operate and how they build their fighters up. It's nothing new. They're still doubling down on this formula that has not proven to be effective at all. It hasn't. It's a waste of everybody's time. How many guys are you going to create out of thin air to try to prop up Jaron in his boots? Again, what names are you going to try to supply him? I'm trying to tell you, I don't think, if Virgil Ortiz gets right, I don't think he can beat a Virgil Ortiz. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest with you guys. You guys can say what you want. But once you fight someone solid, again, there's been little blips again that have exposed Jaron in his boots already, if you guys do your research. But you really have nothing to work off of. Jaron's not going to sell. I'm sorry. And boxing is continuing to water itself down and become a non-factor in the world. That's just the way it is. You understand? So all this stuff, you know, in my opinion, it's just going to be in vain. It's really not going to come out to anything. You're going to have another fake star that the media tells you is just so great and is a seller and all this other nonsense when it's not. And then when PBC and them leave whatever next platform they're going to be on, Amazon, whoever else, again, why doesn't these stories mesh up, you know? But this, again, Terrence Crawford is not the victim of this story. Terrence Crawford's been dealing with this type of nonsense. He's already overcame it. He's already come up on top of it. he's undeniable, you understand? He's not the victim of the story. This is just another story where another young fighter who had the right intentions in the beginning took the easy route, took the dark path, you understand? You took the fake it till you make it route. And you're gonna have some success with that. That's what the world tries to reward today. But ultimately, in the end, you've already seen your future. You've already seen what happened to guys like Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder. You may get a couple paydays out of it, you know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder didn't get paid till DAZN made an offer for him to fight. And then PBC and Showtime kept it and matched it. That was the first time Deontay Wilder got paid. So who knows, they maybe got another guinea pig, but you can tell the same formula, the same tactics and everything else are in effect. And I'm telling you, they don't have nobody to really prop this guy up. It's really not gonna even be worth all this politicking and pay to win tactics that they're doing behind the scenes. I don't think it's gonna be worth it in the end. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just wanted to talk briefly about this. We will come out with more videos. There's some crazy stuff going on in this world. I want to address that stuff. You guys should research what the government now intends to do with the internet. It pretty much is compromised as well by the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We'll probably do a video on that here shortly. You know, I've just been so busy, and I'm driving to work right now, so I actually had time to do a video. But this is why we're talking less about boxing. It's because of topics like this, and it's more the same. It's nothing new, guys. Nothing new under the sun at all. We will talk to you guys later, all right? Bye.